Trials is up. Woohoo! No, just me then.
Yeah, it's always going to be just you. Peroty might go woohoo with you, but definitely not me.
What's happening?
I said Trials is up. Woohoo!
Who's on first? It is.
And it's not a bad map this week.
Oh. Which
And it's not a bad weapon this week. So, there's double the amount of not bad things.
I was trying to finish a Court of Blades with two people who were not interested in doing damage in the Court of Blades. Which there's only one rule. Hit the thing. See the big thing, the big flashy guy? Hit him. Hit him hard, hit him lots. That's all you gotta do. It's just not that hard.
Just let me finish. I'm playing Trials. Just let me finish this match.
Okay.
And then we can talk some more Destiny stuff.
You can't talk nonsense and play Destiny at the same time? No,
I can, but I can't play Destiny well and do nonsense.
I think you could have just stopped it. You can't play Destiny well. Just
he's nice, isn't he? We were winning until I started talking, so maybe I should shut
focus.
Up. Yeah.
Lock in. Lock in, chat.
Did they win? They've won, I think. Yeah. Come on, let them just die. Let them win. Let them win.
Yeah. I don't want to.
No, do your best. Resist. Make the game go as long as it possibly can.
He resisted.
Even though, get the Pyrrhic victory. If you're not honoring Pyrrhus, you're not trying hard enough.
All right. Oh, this one's.
Well, now I've finished playing my round of Trials. I'm ready to talk about Destiny a bit more. Shall we start the show?
Suppose we shall.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
Respawn?
What?
Have we started the show?
I don't know. You're the editor.
No, on the stream. The stream here. Are they ready?
Oh,
they
the stream's
prepared?
been here the whole time.
That's all right then. So yeah, welcome to the show this week. And it's all about Destiny. No marathon, because nobody's played any marathon. Nobody's got any opinions on marathon.
People did play it. It was the alpha release,
and
it's still on the main page. Very, very, very big on the main page. Yeah.
I just really enjoy the amount of discussion, Discord discussion I've seen about Marathon from people who have either one, played a closed alpha for a day, or two, have not played it and just looked at other people's gameplay of it. It's an alpha. It's not done yet. Give your hot takes, but I don't think you can say, oh, this game's cooked, this game's done. No one's ever going to play this. It's not ready yet. You're playing Destiny 10 years later, and you saw that when it came out. If you had played a closed alpha of Destiny, you'd be like, what is this game? And then the release version going, what is this totally different game? It's so fun watching all the people just, I don't know, trying to give the hottest of takes. It's like, just give it a minute. Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you, and that's fine. Yeah. No one said it has to be for you. Like there's not a 1-to-1 Destiny to Marathon crossover here where like they're not going to go, all right, guys, we're shutting down Destiny. Everyone go to Marathon now. But it's like some people are treating it that way. They're like, yep, we're going to turn the servers off as soon as Marathon goes live, and you have to play Marathon now. That's your only choice. No, like there are other games. You can just not. It's fine.
I think the thing is they compare it to the betas that we did have with Destiny, like the alphas and the betas.
Yeah.
Now the alphas was enough to kind of get people really interested in Destiny, and the beta, from what we played, was really good, and it kind of got your hook, got its hooks into you. So I think that's where they're kind of comparing that. I watched Fallout's video this week about he was getting his hot takes on people playing and their reactions to Marathon, and I think the biggest thing that somebody commented on was like, it's $40 for this game, and at launch you get 3 maps. That just sounds very weak compared to what we got at launch with Destiny. If you compare Destiny to that and a $40 game, you got the campaign, you got millions of PvP maps. There was more than 3. You got strikes, you got the raid that was coming, and then there was all those other little bits in there as well that we had. And comparing it to that, for the amount of time and effort they've put into Marathon, I know it's a completely different kind of animal, but to pay $40 and only get 3 maps at launch, I think is very weak, and expect people to continue to play it. And I think that was the biggest thing that I kind of took away from that. So there have been other games that have come out with more maps and more kind of gameplay that have kind of just completely died out.
Especially considering how long this has been in development too.
Yeah.
It's like you guys have been working on this for, I don't know, 30 years.
I think, I'm not being funny though, but I think it has been a trend at Bungie to not look at the PvP maps, because with Destiny 1 compared to Destiny 2.
Yeah, but this game is all PvP. There's no...
But right. with Destiny 1, we got, when we had expansions, there were PvP maps that were shipped with the expansions. And slowly over time, with Destiny being updated and different expansions, and then Destiny 2, you get an expansion and you don't get any PvP maps. And I think they've kind of lost touch with that. There should be PvP maps. When we got Beyond Light, people were saying, "Oh wow, are we going to get like awesome maps
compared to what y'all had in Halo?" I never played Halo. I don't know, right?
Well, I'm not...
whenever I watched my brothers play, it seemed like there wasn't a whole lot of maps. There was like the one in the Gulch. There was the one with the big windmill in the middle. There was, there wasn't a lot of maps in Halo, as far as I remember, right? I could be way off. That's why I'm asking. But like, if you look at the sheer number of PvP maps we have now, even not including the ones that are not available, right? Just the ones we currently have access to. How does that compare to the number of maps that they had in Halo, right? I would assume we have more, right? And this isn't even a PvP.
No, I think when
game.
Halo... I'm just looking on kind of the Wikipedia page or the fandom page. It looks like there was 8 maps when it shipped, and then they've had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's more than that now. There's about 16 maps for Halo 1.
Okay. How many PvP maps do we have access to currently? Not the ones that are gone. Just
what in Destiny 2?
It depends on which. It depends which version you're playing, because some of them are only up in certain game types. So I would say
66, like standard Halo PvP, 66.
I don't know, I have to look. I would say 10, 12, 15, somewhere in that ballpark.
And I'm trying to remember this isn't even exclusively PvP. This is a hybrid PvP, PvE game.
Yeah. So, right.
And that's a lot of PvP maps.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, do extraction, and this is again, just showing our ignorance on extraction shooters. Do they often have a lot of maps, or are you basically fighting in the same area over different loot? This is something. Again, like when I went into the Dark Zone in Division, it felt like it was the same Dark Zone every time.
It is the same. I'm
fighting over the same ground.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. Which again, and I'm not. I know the 3 of us keep using that as an example because that's our context. We know Dark Zone is not the extraction shooter. It's not Dark.
I can't think of any other.
Or whatever.
It might be Escape from Tarkov's an extraction. Okay.
Yeah, Escape from Tarkov, and there's some Call of Duty something that I now can't remember what it is. Yeah, again, we are not the extraction shooter players, but it's like, is a bunch of maps a big thing to have there? Like, is that something you have, or is it more you're fighting for territory over the people you're fighting against, not so much doing it in 16 different locations. I'm not saying fewer maps are better. I just don't know if that's one of the draws. And again, it's a closed alpha. Like, they're shipping the game with 3 maps. I would assume this is something they will continue to work on. Like, they have to have extra maps in the can ready to go. They're like, hey, we'll give you 3 maps. We have the rest of the game to build. Once that's out, adding more maps to play on, especially when you're not trying to balance it against an entire PvE side of your game, should be a much easier, much quicker thing. And you're not trying to balance, is it 3s, is it 4s, is it 6s? Is it 12v12? Like, maps seem like an easy thing to do once the game is out. I mean, I agree. You should give people more maps, but also you gave them a whole game, presumably with the updates coming that are going to be free, right, Bungie? Right, Bungie?
Well, currently we have 28 maps that are available in Destiny 2 to play, and 3 of those were added last year in the Into the Light Crucible map update that we got Eventide Labs, Dissonance, and Sirius Plaza. So before that, there was only 25. Vaulted, we've got the Citadel, of which I think has now come back, so maybe we've got 29 now. Emperor's Respite, Equinox, Firebase Echo, Gambler's Ruin, Legion's Gulch, Retribution, and Solitude. And absent Destiny 1 maps is Asylum, Bastion, Black Shield, Blind Watch, the Burning Shrine, which was renewed as the Burnout, but they could have a kind of different aesthetic to it. Crossroads, the Drifter, Dungeons, Firehouse Delphi, First Light, Floating Gardens, Frontier, Icarus, Last Exit, Memento, Pantheon, which was renewed as Convergence, Shores of Time, which was renewed as Distant Shore, Sector 618, Skyline, Skyshock, Thieves' Den, The Timekeeper, and Vertigo. So why are we not bringing one of those back every kind of expansion, or kind of every now and then, or maybe 2?
Space requirements. The game's already 250 gigs to download.
Yeah.
I mean, maps take up space.
They do.
But how
But
much space?
The maps create a different way for people to play the game, and to have different maps added to the game create longevity, because that's what we had in Destiny 1 when we had the House of Wolves and there was that big drought. But I think it was about 6 months that we didn't get anything until we had, I want to say, like the Rise of Iron. That's what I think it is. There was kind of big gaps, but then there were so many more Crucible maps to be able to play on and have more fun with.
Yeah, and
it's a huge game. They got to pick and choose what stays, what goes. There's a lot of PvE stuff going on that takes up a lot of space, and then we do still have, even if it's not quote enough maps, there's still quite a few PvP maps for PvP that also takes up space. And then people are always crying about, well, not people. I mean, yes, people, but not no.
Robots.
The robots are complaining about
not people, just
cats,
streamers complain,
dogs.
but no, streamers are people too. But no, I'm just mean like the people that do this for a living is like, oh, we don't have enough content. So Destiny is always pushing out more content, even though that also takes up a lot of space. I mean, you got to put it somewhere. You got to pick and choose.
Too. Yeah.
So
now in the 30 seconds I've been Googling, I'm now an expert on extraction shooters here. So from the map of Tarkov Phantom, there's one map. There's one big map with 12 different locations on that map. 11 of them have been released so far. So basically, it's basically one big world, but you're basically fighting through 11 will be 12 different locations on that map. Call of Duty Warzone is the other extraction shooter that I couldn't remember from Call of Duty. There are currently 2 active maps, and they've vaulted 8 maps.
Wow.
So, and that's again from...
You said there's 2 active maps? 2?
It looks like there's 2, Rebirth Island and Verdansk. But one... they seem to come in and out of rotation. What it looks like. They had one that was like, it seems like they maybe do like a seasonal something, because they just looks like they just vaulted in April 2025 Urzikistan and Area 99 that have been out since basically end of 2023, end of 2024. One map ran from February 23 to 24. It seems like they're out for like a year and a half. Yeah. And then they vault them or rotate them through. They're not all that, but just they have like this chronological list from Game Atlas about the list of maps. Yeah. So it seems like they cycle through maps. So it does. I mean, again, in our completely professional, because we're a podcaster with microphones and know everything. Yeah. It seems like like there's a handful of maps, and it's more you're fighting on that map against people trying to steal their gear, because it's it is in the truest sense a PvP game. You're not really, it doesn't really matter where you're fighting. You're trying to kill the guy, steal his loot, and get out with it. Doesn't really matter where you are. I guess as much having
you gotta go kill randoms to get that stuff. Yeah, but the ultimate end game is somebody's gonna be waiting for you at the extraction, and you're gonna have to fight them.
Right. Yeah. And again, you turn that hallway, you go through that doorway 6,000 times. That's 6,000 first time. There's a guy waiting there with a shotgun for you, or a sniper takes you out, or whatever. It's very much, it is a true PvP game. Every time you play it, it's going to be different because it's the people you're playing against, not so much where you're playing. Again, this is all of us talking with. We are not extraction shooter players. You may be screaming at your podcast device, going, "No, you idiots! That's not it at all." Right?
Yeah, that's how it works. They only need 3 maps.
Tell us how you're wrong. Yep, see, that's it. We're experts, haha.
But yeah, I mean,
back the show to tell us how wrong we are. Because honestly, we're curious too.
Destiny players are kind of like I am. Like 3 maps seems very small, but when you explain it like that this is how the extraction shooters work. Where they have a map and then they have the different areas and things. It's like, okay, so it is completely different to how we would think as PvP players in Destiny.
But we don't know if that's how Marathon's doing it, though.
See, the problem is you're approaching this like a PvP game.
Yeah.
Where I saw a hot take this week that I laughed my head off because, see, guys, this is just Gambit. They've just ported Gambit over into their own game. It's a map where you load in and there's PvE enemies to shoot, and then there's PvP people to take down, and you're trying to collect things and run back to your base with them. Yeah. It's just Gambit that's been ported to a whole new game, which made me really laugh. In which case,
PvP to keep it.
Yeah, in which case, all you need is 3 maps because that's what Gambit gets. See, you're just playing Gambit as in a very brightly colored futuristic setting. That's it.
But I mean, conversely, and this is a big if because we have no idea, if they're doing it like the Tarkov thing and these 3 maps have multiple smaller quote maps or sections in them, that could be like 12 areas, let's say, for you to be able to load it into. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how it's set up. Mm-hmm. We just know it's got like 3 maps, but we don't know how those maps are breaking up, if at all.
Yeah, don't know. I know there's a ton of people have made videos and streams and everything else, but I'm not watching them because it's a very pretty game. I'm really enjoying the color of the game, just like the art style. But yeah, again, I am not an extraction shooter. It's not for me. So
yet,
no,
not ever.
Yeah, no. I mean, would I dabble in it if it comes to Game Pass? Yeah, I'd probably dabble in it for a minute. But yeah, I am not an extraction shooter. Again, we've established my AAR PvP credentials. I am not the one out here wiping the floor with anybody doing anything good on a PvP front. This is not the game for me. I'm curious how it develops. I want it to be successful for Bungie's sake. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not looking at this going, oh, my next new game. I'm going, yeah, this could be a thing, and I want people to enjoy it. But yeah, I don't have to be that people.
But I would like some more maps in Destiny, if we're talking maps. That's the reason I brought up the maps, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, you got a new map this week. It just happens to look like a chessboard.
No, that's just...
Yeah,
now, we talked about this last week, didn't we, Bungie? We said, we don't need to have every week filled with various different things for us to do. You don't need us to keep coming back every single week. And what do you do the following week? You give everybody things to log in for again. There's no break. There's no break. I can't function anymore.
What are you talking about, dude? They just wanted to bring culture to the game by introducing chess to people that have maybe never played.
When you're trying to find that last taken fragment on the Dreadnought, and they're like, don't worry, we got you. How would you feel if we scattered 40 chess pieces around and gave them the same icon as the one you're looking for? Would that help you? Would that make you happy? Would that improve your experience? Turns out, yes, because I think I've found 25 of those stupid chess pieces now, and the taken fragment, so the joke's on them.
Very nice.
I was just like, why am I seeing all these icons? I swear I got this one before. And I was like, why is there a rook here? Why am I collecting pawns? But Bungie, why? And I still haven't really, I've seen some speculation, something 9 related, but does anyone know why we're collecting chess pieces? Other than Bungie said,
we're all pawns in Destiny's grand plan. That's why.
Something 9. Something 9. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. They're like, we have 60 of these chess pieces laying around. We just want to throw them in the game for you guys to collect, have fun.
Yeah. I do like the fact that they said, "Oh, you found the things that were hidden." No, they weren't there before, so don't pretend that they've been. Although I will give them the one in the mausoleum was probably there, because that was the one that was really vexing us the other week, because we were like, "Where is
one that
this
was
thing?"
underground? You mean?
Yeah, it was underground by some pillars at the back near where the ogre was. Not down in the ditch, but where you go and fight that ogre. But that first initial drop, there was a kind of icon and you couldn't get to it. It was like, well, where is this thing? Turns out this week it was a chess piece. I was like, look, Blue, it's that one that we thought was under the ground somewhere.
Yeah, it actually exists. I was going to ask if one of those became that, because I hadn't paid. I again, hopping around looking for taken fragments, I was like, well, I'm going to pick up these stupid chess pieces while I'm here anyway. So, well, that's good, I guess. But yeah, I was like, why are we doing chess pieces? Because, I mean, again, in a game where we were fishing, I really shouldn't be asking why questions at this point. I'm just hurting myself.
No, to be honest, we've done fishing. We're now kind of building a chessboard with more than 60 pieces. So, and it looks like it's going to continue next week. So possibly further than that.
Because it's 3D chess, bro. That's why it's got so many pieces.
Yeah.
So yeah, collecting chess pieces, collecting fragments, collecting. Get your spreadsheets out and collect things.
Yes. And I do have a video from Abontis with all the locations of the chess pieces and what you need to do to get the chess pieces. And then there's also one from Froggy this week, which I saw, which was quite useful after the fact. So you can go into the Sunless Cell and go out of bounds to get back into the Dreadnought to go and collect all these pieces without having to fight any enemies. So I thought that would be useful to know beforehand, but, not blaming Froggy, because, Froggy puts out good guides. So I'll link those in the show notes because they're interesting.
Just not on time.
Yeah.
Joking, Frog. Please don't hate me.
He does. He hates you now.
I know he does.
But speaking of PvP and maps and things, Peroty and I did a little bit of an experiment last week when you disappeared and you said you didn't want to play with us anymore. We decided we were going to go into competitive Crucible. We thought, we don't really want to go to Trials because we've had not really fun experience doing Trials with the two of us. We'll try competitive and see how that goes. Night and day is what I can say. Night and day.
Night and day good or night and day bad?
Good.
Good.
The matchmaking for the two of us to go against other people of similar skill was amazing. It just, I couldn't fault it. I mean, there were matches where it went very close with like 4-4 and then we got the kind of the win. But it was like, compared to how Trials works, this was fun. Competitive was fun. I mean, what was your take, Peroty? Because
the same take. I mean, it's and this was, to be clear. I had just finished my placement matches. I just played the 7 matches, and I was sitting squarely in my bronze 1 or I can't remember. I can't remember if I was the lowest bronze or highest bronze, but I was in bronze, and Demon was in gold. Something again, which one doesn't really matter. So I was the bottom of the barrel. He was slightly higher in the barrel above me. And so that was part of the experiment going, well, let's see. Again, it's not like he's an ascendant tier 1 god player and I'm absolute trash. But there was enough of, there was a whole silver rank between us going, okay, well, let's see what we get. If we're playing together, what does the game do with this information? Because in the past, the game will say, if you're playing Trials, you're absolutely going to play, the tier 1 ascendant Trials gods because clearly this makes sense. All of our matches were competitive. Like even despite the entire silver rank disparity between us, like every match we played was competitive. I mean, we won some, we lost some, but they were all competitive. It's like the game looked at us and said, "Oh, I understand what to do with this. I can actually matchmake you with people, of higher skill." And some of the matches were sort of clear. It's like, okay, you had like the one pair of the duo, or in some cases the trios. One person sort of knew what they were doing, but again, knew what they were doing at like the demon level, like the gold level. Like, we're a good player, but not going to wipe the floor with us. And the other two, you could tell were just the friends that had come along for the ride, or were like, yeah, sure, well, I'll play some comp with you. But it was never like the Trials experience of you're just going to get the floor wiped with you over and over and over again. No matter what you do, you're just going to be here to be stomped on. It was actually probably the best matchmaking experience I've had in Destiny in quite a while. And that includes playing Control and everything else, which Control, granted, like that's just a free-for-all. but still, it's like you're playing against people so much better than you. It's just not enjoyable after a point.
Yeah.
Every match we played was enjoyable and I felt like I had a chance to win every match, and the way I was playing actually mattered. You know, like instead of just going, well, it doesn't matter if I play well or play poorly, we're going to get crushed anyway. It actually felt like my contribution mattered.
Yeah.
Or lack of contribution mattered, which was a really nice way to feel playing PvP in Destiny.
And I wish they'd kind of port that, the way that they do that, into Trials, because I would rather face people of my own skill that are on their 6th or 7th win than somebody that's card based, because that feels more competitive to me to play against somebody that is of the same skill, whether they're on like their 5th or 6th or 7th or even gone beyond that, and they're just kind of going for more wins. That feels more competitive to me, so that I can learn and get better. I don't then have to keep going into competitive to do that, to kind of get better and learn. And I can go into Trials and it can be the same kind of experience, but Trials is Trials, and you get those Trials rewards.
Yeah, and yeah, like you hit the nail on the head. Like learning, you felt like after playing competitive, you're like, okay, that's you can identify and say, okay, that's what I could have done better to not have died in that situation, or you know, I pushed there where I shouldn't have, or I did this and I shouldn't have. You know, I reloaded at a bad time. I should have waited to make sure we were clear. You know, something like that. Where Trials, it's just you're dead before you have time to think or react, and so it doesn't tell you anything, and there's no way to adjust to get better. It feels like when you're just up against people so much better than you.
Yeah, the way that the Trials seems to work at the moment is, like we said last week and we've said before, is that going in solo seems to be the better option for anybody that wants to go to the Lighthouse and wants to be paired up with people of their own skill. But as soon as you start adding the second and the third person on, that's when the matchmaking seems to kind of go out of sync and just not, it just does not know what to do. But with competitive, it seems to be absolutely fine. So whatever you're doing in competitive, Bungie, put that in Trials, because that is working.
Is there more people that play competitive than there are people that play Trials?
I honestly don't know. I mean, at this point in time, I mean, people are saying that that Bungie's or Destiny's not being played as much. It's like, well, there seems to be a lot of people in both kind of playlists, depending on where you go.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers definitely felt. I mean, like during the placement matches, they were definitely like it was taking a fairly long time. I mean, not anything extreme, but like it was probably taking a minute, 30 seconds to a minute to find me a placement match in competitive when I was doing it solo. So I mean, I think that the placement matches, that population is low and is trying to find people also in placement matches. I haven't really done anything much solo past that without Demon, but like just the matchmaking for us was fairly quick. Like we weren't really sitting, other than going, okay, well, we found you two and another 2 stack, and we found one person. Now we need that last person. Sometimes there'd be a little delay there, but it wasn't like I'm just sitting here waiting for it to find us a match. So like a little bit slower. But I think if that's the price I'm paying for the cost of a better experience, better actual matchmaking, like that was perfectly fine. Like I would pay that tax every time. Let me go refill my drink and then I come back and now I have a match versus we're in a match immediately, but I'm going to have fun and the match is going to be enjoyable for me. And I'm assuming for the people on the other team too, because again, like it's not like we were wiping the floor with them either. Like it felt very balanced. It felt like a good competitive match.
What are you talking about? You're both PvP guys. Of course you were wiping the floor with them.
Yeah, my 0.8 KD is gonna top the charts every time.
Hey! There's somebody out there with a worse one.
No, 100%, and that's what I'm saying. Like I am not. I will have matches where I'll kill all 3 people on the other team out of either their stupidity or my stroke of genius once. But this is not a repeatable thing. Yeah, I'm not saying I won't play well sometimes, but on the whole, on average, no, I'm going to lose more matches than I win. 100%. I'm going to lose more gunfights than I win. 100% of the time. That's just what it is. Yeah. So I mean, but just the competitive difference was just so night and day over playing Trials. It just wasn't even the same experience at all. And really had a good time with it. Made some good success. And I think most importantly, I know Bungie has changed the the math on the competitive, when do you go up, when do you go down, but we were both making progress. It's not like I was just using Demon to boost my progress, where I was, steadily climbing the ranks of bronze and he was just stuck at gold. We were both, when we won games, we were both going up. We were both making progress.
Yeah.
So,
I ended up in gold too, and you ended up in silver, didn't you?
Yeah, silver or the top of bronze, I can't remember. Because I can never remember if it goes 1 to 3 or 3 to 1, which is the highest one. But yeah, but we were both making progress. Which was the other thing I was curious about is, would it be like, other games where you sort of power level by going, I'm really under-leveled, you're over-leveled. Can I ride your coattails and just, I level up and you get nothing? But no, we were both, we were both leveling up our respective ranks. And, he was getting closer to his artifice armor and I was getting closer to not being bottom of the barrel.
Goals, am I right?
Yeah, but again, we were both able to, sort of complete our objectives, which is, 1, have a good time, 2, play together and have a good time, and 3, also progress our respective progress in our ranks. So yeah, I call it a win.
Yeah, I mean, I streamed the trials this week. I did my Trials Tuesday stream. I wasn't really looking for the sniper. I've already got kind of one of those keen thistle snipers with the adept. I think the first week that they kind of did it, and I'm not really a fan of the dissonance map, which is one of the new ones. It's the one on the Nezarec ship kind of thing. With all the flowery, yeah. That to me seems very 6v6 map. It's not for me for a trials map. It doesn't feel. Even Tide Labs, which was the other one, which was the ice one, really good. Sirius Plaza, which is the one with the arcades in it, again a really good one. Dissonance, not a fan of.
Yeah, I think last time I played Trials, it was also that same app a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I don't really care for that one either.
Hey, Trials. Hey, Peroty. Don't feel so bad about your KD, because one guy in the chat says his KD is lower than the BAC level.
Yeah. No. I mean, I just say this to say, I am a very decent PvP player, and that is only after, how many years has this game been out? I've played, semi-consistent PvP that whole time. I am not good. This is me working my way up, to a 0.8 to 1.0 KD. This is, after years of playing. This is not me being like, oh, yeah, no, I absolutely know. I am, again, middle of the road. 1.0 KD, absolutely middle of the road. I trade more than I succeed. Well, yeah, but you also never play competitive. Yeah. You also never play PvP willingly and rage out when you do.
That's a great caveat. Willingly, yes.
Having never played it, yes, I would expect it would be. And yeah, and it's probably lower now than what it was. I just know, on whatever the seasonal average or yearly average or whatever, it's like, yeah, it sits around there because I trade a lot. You might kill me, but I'm going to take you with me because for the most part I'm playing sixes. It doesn't really matter. But yeah. I just say that to illustrate, neither. This isn't either Demon or I going, oh, we're amazing players, and I was able to slum it and do this too. This is me going, we're two random old dudes who jumped in and tried this and had a decent experience. Maybe you will too. If you're sitting here going, I don't ever want to play PvP. This is not my sales pitch for PvP. Oh, you should start playing competitive. It's amazing. This is just me going, if you do and you want to play something other than sixes, and you had the same experience in Trials we did. Competitive, once you get through your 7 games, because those you have to play solo, just to have it place you, because the whole point of that is to going, are you a PvP god or are you not? And let me place you where you belong to be, where you belong to be in that rank. So, once you play those 7 games, and again, I did those over the course of a couple of days. It wasn't like I sat down and said, I'm going to grind through these games. It was a couple of days of like, all right, let me hop in and play a game or two. Let me hop in and play a game or two. Let me have that one PvP loadout in game I can just switch to. And I picked sort of the weapons I felt comfortable with, the ones I've been playing with Iron Banner. I just said, I'm going to pick a loadout and roll with it. I'm not going to play the let's try 16 different weapons game and keep changing them around. I'm going to pick the one loadout and just stick with it. Will it be successful sometimes? Yeah. Will it be absolutely horrible sometimes? Yeah. but I'm just gonna pick the one loadout, stick with it, and sort of learn how to play with that loadout, with those weapons, with these abilities, and not try to keep going, oh, that seems better, or I could do better over here. And just go, I'm gonna pick one thing and learn it and roll with it. And yeah. Again, if you're sitting here going all this PvP talk, I'm never gonna do it. Fine, great. Play the game how you want to play it. This is not us trying to say you have to play PvP. Just here is a data point for people who, are not gods, and here's how we did.
Yeah,
I want to know how I stack up against you. I've already beaten Nitedemon's ass. I know I can beat him, but
1v1. You will absolutely beat me. I am.
So.
I am not good. I am not good 1v1. 100%. I am not good 1v1. I excel when I can absolutely exploit my abilities or close quarters and ambush people, or get jolting going, or get something else going. Hit you with a grenade, having you jolt your teammates. That's where I do well. If I'm wiping a team, it's because I've gone in with a shoulder charge and I'm jolting you with the electricity, and I've got a bolt charge going, something like that. If I'm 1v1ing you, I'm losing that every time. I am not a good one. I'm not a good 1v1 player at all. I can tell you, you'll probably beat me 9 times out of 10.
There was a build, I didn't save it. It was a PvP build. I was trying the Tommy's Matchbook thing, and it was working. It was doing all right. And then some guy just absolutely slayed my team, and it was another hunter. And I was like, "What are you using?" And he was just rocking like a baseline void build, and I was like, "All right, well, let's do this and this and this and this." And then I ran in with it, and I started doing a lot better with his build. And I was like, I've never even seen anything remotely like this online. And he just threw something together, and
that's a typical
really good.
hunter in
and
PvP.
I never saved it though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm looking back now. I'm like, did I save it? I'm like, no, of course I didn't.
Oh yeah, no, and honestly, that's why I was saying I wasn't playing with my build and changing things around, because I have the same experience. I'm sitting here going, I'm walking with my Chattering Bone, pulse rifle, and I'm going, I've got this one that's got a really good one. And then I go start playing against people with the Outbreak, and I'm like, oh, that Outbreak's doing good. Should I switch to the Outbreak? Maybe I should put the Outbreak on. Or then, then I'm like, I'm running Arc, and I'm doing this and doing that, and I'm going, oh, well, you're running Arc this way. Maybe I should put that mod on. Maybe that would help. It's like, you could absolutely get into your head and just keep going. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. And then you're sitting here going, well, I've got 6 parts of a build kind of going, and none of it really works together. And now I've lost any synergy I had with this thing, and yeah.
Well, you always the rule that I see when a lot of streamers is practice with the weapons that you want to kind of practice with, and don't just kind of keep swapping them out every other match. So you kind of end up sticking with what you've got for about 5 or 6 matches to see how it's going. But then sometimes with the maps, with the opponents that you have, you feel that you need to swap out sometimes, but you never kind of stay with the weapons that you're kind of practicing with. I think that's some of the times that's my issue, is that I do, like you say, you see somebody using the Outbreak and I'm like, oh, I'm going to swap out for that, because that's doing a hell of a lot of damage and I can use that. I know how to use that. And it's kind of, yeah. There's
definitely some degree of just getting in your own head about it and going, well, you've got one. I've got a gun with that same perk. Maybe if I put, I often think maybe if I put the gun on with that perk or with that combination, I would have won that gunfight. Well, no, you're probably just a better shot than I am. You just landed that shot first. It's like, yeah, might that have been the difference? Or if I had just been a little smarter and peeked a little later, or, took cover a little bit better, it's oftentimes not, oh, if I just had that gun, that would have made the difference. It's like, no, if you had played this this encounter a little bit better, you might have been successful as opposed to defeated. Yeah. It's not the weapons or the armor, it's me.
I mean, that's my experience with, as I was saying, playing Trials and playing on Dissonance this week. It was there were very close matches, and again, I was in solo, and there were some times that I was doing really, really well, and then there were some times that you could see I was the one that was being carried. It was terrible. And this one game, we were 4 for 4. Nobody had a super up. We load into the last round, and suddenly the super on the other team comes up, and it's a Titan. I'm like, we've got to take him out. There was no communication between us, but I was like, he has to go, because otherwise he's just going to wipe us out. Yeah. So my teammate managed to get one of their team down, but then in the process, he ended up going down as well. And I thought, well, I'm going to go and see if I can protect that res. So I don't want him to be resed.
Yeah.
Didn't know where this Titan was. As I get there, this Titan is resing his teammate. So I just charge him with my shoulder charge. Doesn't take him out entirely, but because I've got my sidearm on, the Brigand's Law with my pugilist, my swashbuckler, and my right-hand perk, where I'd done the actual punch initially, it took both of them out because he managed to res his teammate. So I took the Titan out, and then I took his teammate out. And I thought, we're golden, because my other teammate was at that point resing the one that had gone down. I thought, there's 3 of us against 1. We are going to win this. How wrong I was.
And then
we were in one of the initial spawn rooms of Dissonance. So when you first run in, there's normally a green ammo brick on the wall where you kind of run past that pillar to go back out into that open area in the main area. So we're in one of these rooms. So instead of backing up, I could see this red thing coming on the radar, and I was like, he's going to just come around the pillar, and I'm going to be able to get him because I'm already kind of amped up with my swashbuckler perk. He came floofing in. He was way above me. I just did not see him kind of
floofing. No,
he came in. I mean, the red dot on the thing suddenly went up in the air, and he was behind me before I knew it. Took me out. Res the other 2, so it was my 2 teammates against all 3 of them, and the Titan with the super, and yeah, we lost.
Yeah,
which I put down to it was my fault because I had the chance to kind of maybe back up and just kind of pot shot him with the scout rifle, which was what I had on. But no, I decided I was going to try and be a Titan and punch him as he walked through the doorway and not look up.
And then. No, replay that 10 times, and it could come out 6 different ways.
Yeah. I mean, I have learned from it that it would have been better to have backed up and kind of just guarded them from a distance rather than go, well, I've taken out 2. I've now got the confidence to take out this 1, and didn't realize how good he was. So, or how good they were. Could have been a woman as well. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, and then there was the other time I was running along the edge of the map, and we were winning. And it was lucky that my 2 teammates were winning because I managed to shoot this guy, but then I just literally fell off the edge of the map. And I was like, oh, no. How the hell did I just do that? I was kind of just skirting the edge of this map, and it just like my Titan just went, no, I'm going down. I was like, and I just couldn't get the jump to go back up. It just went straight down. I was lucky I wasn't the only, the last man standing, because I think that would have just ruined it. But
so which episode is that video clip included in the stream?
That was live this past Tuesday. But yeah,
I've done that too. I've done that. I've absolutely gone the again, like on the newer maps that I don't know quite as well.
Yeah,
thinking, let me jump around this little half wall and come at you from this way. Yep. Only the little half wall has no ground on the other side, and me going, oh no.
Yeah, it's a wall straight up, and you're like, okay, I made poor life choices at this point in time.
I had a plan, did not quite work out.
I mean, I wasn't on a 6-win streak this time. I think I mean, I don't like the map, and I think it isn't a very good Trials map. And the last match that I needed, I had like 20 minutes before I was going to finish the stream, and I thought I still just need this 1 win, and then I can get to the lighthouse and do that. So
yeah, we
came up against this guy called Satan on the other team, completely wiped the floor with everybody, and I was like, oh, please, when I reload this up, can I have Satan on my team? And I got Satan on my team. I got Satan on my team for the next game.
Made a deal with the devil, and it worked out.
I'm going to the lighthouse. I don't care. I'm going to the lighthouse. And then the other 2, there was 2 on the other team that must have been a pair. They saw Satan and just completely booked it. So this poor guy on the other team had to deal with Satan for 5 goes. And I just sat back and I was like, I know what it's like to go against that. I'm not rushing in to kill you either. You deal with Satan. I'm going to the lighthouse. I'm just concentrating on going to the lighthouse. You can deal with Satan.
That's so funny. I've I mean, again, feels so relatable. Going, okay, I've been in a match against this guy a couple times. If you could just spawn on my side this time, that would be great.
That's what I was thinking. Just get him on my team, and then I don't have to worry about that last game to get to the lighthouse. I know he's going to just completely slay out and take everyone down, unless he comes up against another Satan, obviously. Yeah. But the other two saw him and went, "No, we're not having any part of this," and just booked it.
We've either been with or against him and know exactly how this is going to go.
Yep.
That. I mean, and that's another thing I guess I should mention, like the competitive, the loss protection when we were playing competitive, which I totally forgotten about. When we were loading in, and our third person would either immediately at one point we just had someone immediately book it, and you have to press the button to go back into competitive. So apparently you loaded in and didn't like the look of it or something, or loaded in, your mom called you to go do something, you had to go grab the baby and like just booked it immediately. And a couple times like we lost the first like 1 or 2 rounds, and then our third person booked it. A nice little thing pops up and goes, "Hey, you've got loss protection." So at that point, it doesn't matter if you win that game or lose it. You're basically not going to be penalized, and you're not going to lose. I don't know if it's as many. Again, I don't know if it's 0 points you'll go down or just fewer points, but like it won't immediately penalize you the same as if you had played a fair 3-3 match, which was really nice. Just to be able to look at Demon and go, okay, so we're down a man, but it doesn't really matter. Because at some level at least we've got some protection on how we do. Again, and it's not like we sit here and said, well, let's just try to lose purposely. But it took a little bit of the stress off of going, I'm going to lose so many rings for losing this game because this guy booked out on us. It was just really nice to have. Like it was really nice that they've implemented that. Which, it was just.
I mean, it doesn't really matter in trials now, where if you just get your 7 wins, you go to the lighthouse.
Right.
But it just feels horrible when that happens in trials. You're like, you're down to like 1 or 2 people. Sometimes it's like, well, this isn't, and I don't want to be that person to leave. So you end up standing and emoting and trying to be friends, but they still come up running over and teabag you, and then teabag you even more because 3 people beat 1 person. It's like, no,
it's always those guys too. It's always the guys who are like. Yeah, like it's a 1v3 or 2v3, and they come over and just aggressively teabag you. It's like, sir, I was killed by not you. You yourself did nothing. I watched you. I have not seen you this entire game. Don't come over here and act like you're the one, carrying the team to victory. Like it's always the guys who contribute nothing, or are just super toxic. It's like you could just not. You could just not. Like I turned off that was the other thing. I turned off the text chat. I've been playing with it on and off, since they put it on the consoles. I just turned it off immediately, that first week we went in the trials, and I got my first, go kill yourself, bro. I'm like, I'm just turning this off, and then you guys can scream into the abyss, and you can enjoy that. I don't have to see your messages. You can feel good that you told me to kill myself. Everyone wins. So if you are going to play
something I don't have on,
turn off the text chat, especially if you're on a console. Because let's be honest, you're not using that. You're not sitting here typing on your controller on the console. Just turn it off, and then they can scream at you all they want, and you'll never know. It's blissful.
A bit like playing with Respawn, because sometimes Respawn will do that. He'll join you, and somebody I was playing with Blue and Respawn at one point, and Blue went, "Are you not seeing these messages from Respawn telling us what we're going to do?" Because I think we're in the dungeon. I'm like, nope, I've got nothing turned on. Nope. I don't have any of that turned on because I hate the fact that it's
for me.
It sometimes when it's on there, it stays on there for days on end, and I'm like, that was a message 6 days ago. I don't need to know that now.
Right. Respawn. Today you would have seen Respawn's message from a week ago going, hey, we're going to do this. It's like, Bungie, why? Like this isn't a chat feed. You don't need to keep it up forever. You can time those messages out. I promise it will be okay. Yeah, I understand the idea behind it, but on the console, it really just feels misplaced and poorly done.
Yeah. So, that was Trials and Competitive this week. So that was... Yeah. And apart from doing the chess pieces and going and grabbing a Sunless Cell Grandmaster, which I did with Fireteam Finder, sort of. Not really. I had to go on the Xbox version.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Because I went there and I was thinking, please be it working, please be it working. And because, like you said in the roundup last week, or
Still
in your
have not put it
yeah,
in the
in your
Fireteam Finder.
in your thing. It's like
And
no, it's
I
not there.
now I looked on Thursday, but I don't remember the list. But I guarantee you, still not going to be there. Still won't
Nope.
be in the Fireteam Finder.
No, you'd think put it in the Grandmaster selection, it will be in the Fireteam Finder, but it's not. So yeah, I had to use the Xbox One and found a couple of guys that kind of quite happy to kind of go off mic and do it. I mean, that's the difference these days, isn't it? Going off mic and still being able to do a Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Maybe the Grandmasters are too easy, Bungie. Just saying.
Ooh. I'm going to stand here with my sword and not die for the most part. You guys do the other hard work, and we got this.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one and only time I was banned in Destiny is when I was playing PvP intentionally, and I was doing really well, right? And
Lies.
no, and this is why. But the rage was getting the better of me, and I was the guy running around like I wasn't teabagging people I didn't kill. Right?
Yes, you were.
I was going out of my way to kill people, and then once I killed them, I would teabag them
aggressively.
You know?
Yeah. I was just trying to get my dodge working, and hunters, we know the difference between I'm trying to dodge away and my dodge isn't up teabag, and I'm teabagging. You get good scrub. Just like now on the Titan with the thruster.
Well, on
you
keyboard
can tell
and
the
mouse,
difference.
Those are two separate buttons.
Okay, well then, yeah. Well, again, and that's the other reason I'm not playing those people. I'm playing controller people. So
Right.
we know the difference between I tried to hit my dodge because I'll get the single bag sometimes as they're running away and I'm going, no, you're just trying to dodge. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We know the difference. You're not sneaky. We can tell.
Yeah, but because of my aggressive dodge spamming, I was invited not to come back to Destiny for 7 days. So
So reporting those people does work. That's good.
Well, I mean, I was just encouraged to play other games for a week. That's all. I mean,
because 100%. Some of those people I play that are just super toxic, and like from game one, match one, that they just come out and they're just aggressively teabagging, and I know in my heart they're just sending me messages again that I'm not seeing. I'm like we're gonna lose anyway. You're clearly way better than I am, and absolutely toxic. I'm going to report you, and I have no idea if this will do anything because you're not I think I just use griefing. You're not doing you're not cheating. You're not doing anything wrong, but there's also no reason to do that. So I'm going to hit the button, and I figure, hey, if my report of griefing goes with everyone else's report of griefing, maybe someone will kick you off at some point or give you a little timeout and say, here, try this, and then you can play your video game. Because guess what? It's just a video game. It's just not that serious, bro.
Yeah, but my temper got away from me a little bit, I'll admit.
No, you? that doesn't sound like you, no.
I'm glad you believe in me. It means a lot.
I also believe in Joe Hendry, so.
I don't know who that is.
Noble knows. He believes in Joe.
I'm glad.
Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, so Respawn, what have you been doing that's not PvP this week?
Creating a chessboard, apparently.
Yeah.
Just a little bit though. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to do much of anything because of work, but when I jumped on, I was just getting caught up on the last episode so I could start this episode, and then playing a lot of a game that has runes in it, and it puts you on a quest, and there seems to be wild dragons flying around.
So not Oblivion?
No.
Did you guys know Oblivion remake was out? Because let me tell you,
I did. Yeah,
I am aware the Oblivion remake is out. I could have lived under a rock this week and still known the Oblivion remake is out.
Yeah, they didn't announce it or anything, which was crazy. Just oh, by the way, here you go. What is this? What is this? What is this? You're like, oh, we remastered all of Oblivion. Like, what?
With the same bugs, apparently. Now I've never played any Oblivions, but
it's Bethesda. Yeah, it's not the same bugs. It's just all new bugs that do the same thing.
Well, no, I've seen a couple clips this week of it's the same bug that's been in the game for 6 years, but hey, it's fine. But no quicker had that been announced and released in my every feed I have turn into Oblivion.
No,
I was
it
like,
was.
really?
I was talking about.
You don't say.
I was talking about RuneScape. They redid Runes. Well, not redid. There's a new RuneScape game. Just not redone. Just straight up new. And it's fun, but it's still only like an early release kind of thing. So, like, you can reach level 50 in your skills, and then you're done. There's only like 3 or 4 main quests and 5 or 6 side quests, and that's it. I'm just like, wow, that was fast.
And then go do something else, like Destiny. Build a chessboard.
Yeah, go and build a chessboard. So you didn't get drawn into the conspiracy theories this week with the Edge of Fate's
I saw them.
trailer.
I did see them. Yeah,
it made me laugh because I think Astacross saw the video that the guy made. He went through all these kind of different like theories about what all these different symbols were, highlighted them, and went through Photoshop and went and deciphered it and made like a 30 or 40 minute long video. And Astacross is like, you guys, rib me for when I make a video that should be like 2 minutes long, 10 minutes, and this guy's really stretching out this. So then Astacross, his video on that, rewatching it, was about 40 minutes long as well. I was like, yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yep, checks out.
Yeah, but at least, we didn't do a whole dungeon or raid in the time it took you to do your intro. So,
you can tell the content game is really good when the reaction videos to 1 minute long trailers are really what's happening right now.
Right.
But the trailer does look very interesting. So I will put it in the show notes if you have missed it. But if it looks very Back to the Future-esque, very time circuity on whatever we're kind of looking at, and then we go through kind of a warped like black hole.
Stargate.
And and we're somewhere else. So is this time travel? How cool would that be?
I mean, yeah.
Do we lose everything in our vault?
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, then I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah. Guess what?
Take it all away from me. Give me a new game.
Armor 4.0 also means all new weapons because the weapons are no longer compatible with the armor.
No, I don't really want you to take everything away. I have earned
take it away.
That. No.
You said it. It's out there. Bungie's like, oh, okay. Well, I got you, bro.
Something.
No, it would be the best way for me to kind of cleanse my vault if they actually just took it away from me and went, no, this is, you've gone through the time portal, you've created a different timeline, you can't get back to your vault. That's on a different timeline now. You're in a different universe and different timeline. You now have to reacquire many of those weapons again. That I'd be happy with that. Oh, and by the way, all the armor that you stored up, that's all different as well because it's all got different stats. Because in this universe, it's completely different from the last one.
Listen, we'll get by if he'll make a nice long video to explain to you why all your stuff is not working anymore, and then you can move on and be happy. You are free. You are free from the bounds of all of the things you've been hoarding.
Yeah.
As we've broken Nitedemon. Yeah,
no,
that sounds.
I wasn't expecting a tease, and then suddenly they drop this tease, and it's like, oh, this looks interesting.
Weren't you though?
No,
but Bungie does 2 things better than anyone else: skyboxes and teasing. Okay,
to be honest, I expected a tease on the 4th or the 5th of May, just before the reveal, because that's what they normally do. They go, "Oh, here's a tease for it," not a week and a couple of days before it. And it was like, "Oh, this is something new." So maybe we get a bit more of a teaser trailer this upcoming week. And then we get the reveal the week after, because we're still a week out from any reveal or anything. We're edging it. We're edging closer.
Edging ever closer. Bungie's edging us. We're edging Bungie. Everyone's edging everyone. Great.
Are we edging towards this week in Destiny, though?
We probably are. We
haven't even started that yet, have we?
No, it's this week in Destiny for the 24th of 4, 2025. Where we're going to prepare for the Edge of Fate reveal. We've already prepared.
Yeah.
There's going to be riddles. They're going to riddle me this. The new event Home is coming with heavy metal.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's answer in Trials of Osiris. And Iron Banner next week. Our first Destiny 2 vinyl is now available. And Bungie Foundation and Gamers Engaged. So, yeah, the Edge of Fate reveal is nigh. They say it's nigh. And it is nigh. It's coming. It's coming on the 6th of May, 2025 at 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon U.S. Eastern time, and 5 p.m. London time, Deviant time. It is 5
think
hours,
so.
right?
Yeah, I think it goes
I
around.
would get confused if it's 5 or 6 at this point of the year. I don't know why. You would think I would learn this by now, but no, I refuse. Yeah, it's a standard Bungie time. You'll know. Everybody will be talking about it. You'll see. They're revamping Gambit because Guardian's Gambit. That's not a clue, by the way. Just a silly reference. The latest Destiny 2 community puzzle has begun, and all the pieces are starting to move into place during the first week. We are not helping in any way. Sorry, not sorry. The only thing we'll say is this: don't lose your sanity over it, and rest when needed. We won't point fingers, but you know who you are. Don't overwork yourselves and enjoy the ride. So the chess pieces are leading to the release of Gambit Prime and Reckoning. Clearly that's what's happening.
Yeah.
You won't convince me otherwise.
I do like the fact they did get a bit lazy this week and go, Drifter's holding 5 pieces. Like, surely you could have hidden them somewhere else. Surely.
That would have involved updating the Drifter, and that's coming when we have all of its pieces back.
So does that mean like just go to Gambit and you'll get 5 pieces, or
No, you
I mean,
literally just walk up to the Drifter.
Yeah,
Walk up to the Drifter and he's got them in his inventory.
Yeah, literally walk up to the nice green man and say, excuse me, sir, do you have any pieces? And he goes, oh yes, here they are. That's it. Done.
I mean, it makes sense because I mean he would have just like random stuff on him at all times. So
he's also going, I have had these in my vault for 17,000 years. I don't know why, but here, do you want these? I don't know what to do with them.
Right.
Would you like them though? Here, enjoy.
I mean, there are some pieces that you have to switch your ambition and resolution for. So you get 3 for resolution, 3 for ambition. But you'll know once they've kind of dropped. You can track those in your episode Heresy rituals under secrets on the second page.
I hate every time they add a new mechanic. They just can't like have it there. No, it's got to be included in everything. Hey guys, look, you can swap back and forth between these 2 things. Oh, it also affects what your exotic gun does for this season. What happens after this season's over? Still don't know. By the way,
with that, you can go to the crafting table and actually craft it with the version that you want it to be without having to keep swap it over at the slab.
So you would just have to take up 2 slots of your inventory instead of 1. Got it. Give me 5 pieces.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, after the slab disappears, you know that you can go to the crafting table and just do whatever version of it that you want it to be, which is, I think,
remember,
the second version anyway.
One of those will be good. The other one will be trash. So craft the good one. This is Destiny. There's only one good version of anything.
Fair.
So
yeah,
you can have 7 versions of it. Only one of them will be worth using. Just craft that one and move on with your life.
The point being is that, it's got to be included in absolutely everything. It's just like,
but it doesn't.
Like why? You get 3 pieces on ambition, you get 3 more pieces on this. Oh, your gun can swap between this and this. Oh, you got to find X number of shards while you have ambition and X number of shards while you have resolution on. Oh, you got to do just bruh.
Because multiverse. Because multiverse.
No, it didn't work for Marvel. It's not working here. Okay, I never even liked the multiverse when it came to like the comic book side. It's a stupid way to keep bringing people back. Just be more original, but don't kill them off to begin with. Whatever,
Well, I'm not being funny, but time travel is part of the basis of Destiny 2. To be honest, with
time
the
travel,
Stranger.
yes, but not necessarily multiverse. It depends on.
No. She has been to multiverses, different universes. She's been to, hasn't she?
I'm not saying she hasn't. All I'm saying is like it's
still
was
one where her sister was evil and she had to kill her sister, wasn't there?
Yeah, and her dad, and she's been to multiple multiverses, and this is the only one where
it's all part of Destiny.
I'm not saying it's not a part. I'm saying it's a stupid mechanic. I didn't say Destiny didn't do it. I said it's dumb when anybody does it.
I get excited by it. It's like the possibilities. You're like, oh wow, we've done it this way. Let's try it a different way without kind of having to ruin what we've already done.
We don't have to. We have an entire universal storyline. We can go all the way back to the Darkness homeworld to try to defeat what originally created, the Witness. We've never been to the Elixni homeworld. I mean, we can do so many things that have nothing to do with multiverse. We could also do backstories about people that are in our lore. You know, we can go back and do what Peroty wants and be an actual Elixni when the Elixni still had the light. We can go back to Shin Malfur in his transitioning between good and evil. There's so many things you can do in the storyline we already have that have nothing to do with multiverse.
But hear me out. Multiverse.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have we talked about maybe leaving the universe at this point? Yeah. It's like it's going to happen sooner or later. It's like maybe this will be the time. No, this isn't the time. Maybe this will be the time. No. Maybe this. No. So I mean, eventually we've got to, right?
Yes.
So maybe this is the time? Question mark.
I think this is the time. Yeah.
You have the Awoken that went into a black hole and, air quotes, lived, right? I mean, we could go through that experience and what they went through to come out on the other end, figuratively speaking. I mean, it just so many things we can do that would be so much more interesting than multiverse and time travel. It's just it's a trope that's been played to death long before Marvel did it, by the way.
It might not even be that, but we're just saying that it'd be interesting if it is.
It wouldn't be, though.
Time travel, you'd like. Same. Time travel, wouldn't you like going back and seeing, like you just said, you want to kind of go back and look at doing some of the stories.
Not the time travel to do it, but to actually be in that as like a DLC or a storyline. You know what I'm saying? Not that like, oh, our Guardian has time traveled back. No, it didn't. We're just showing you the perspective of this person in the lore. Or you could be the Iron Lord. What was her name? Oh God, she was really good. The one that yeah, her. You can go back and go through her storyline. You can be Lord Saladin in his rise to become the leader of the Iron Lords. You know, you could go back and be Crucible one horn helmet. Shax, thank you. You could go back and be Shax when he slapped somebody's head off with one slap. You know, you run through his whole storyline, how Shax became Shax. You know, you can go through Ikora and find out that, wow, Ikora really is the best in PvP that's ever existed, and nobody knows that. You know, just so many things that if they put the lore in the game that we could actually experience it instead of just reading it in like a tome, it would be awesome.
That's Spike's job.
Yes, it is, and he can educate us, and then we can do it. Nothing wrong with that.
I would love to go, to go back in time to experience. We've heard about, here's all, all the lives the Drifter has lived. Here's all the things that have happened before. Here's all the before time. Well, show me some of the before time.
Mm-hmm.
Even especially if you want to get, I know we've talked in the past about getting away from this. Okay, we did our 10-year epic. You said we want to make a 10-year epic. We did that. Done, dusted, completed. We're sort of, floundering a little bit, going, oh, look at these bit characters. We can give you stories about them. Give me like a, for the next year, we're gonna have 3 episodes, or I don't even want to use the word episode because everyone's gonna recoil and go, oh no, not episodes. Over the next 12,
seasons, I think.
Just over the next 12 months, I want 3-4 month, experiences to live through. That hey, for these 4 months, it's going to be this. For this 4 months, we're going to be that. For this 4 months, we're going to be that. Take me through and let me go back to the Dark Ages. Let me go live that storyline. Let me see some of these things that you've told me so much about. Do that as like like a limited edition series. Here's your thing you can go and play. Do this as a story to play. Instead of the seasonal stuff that kind of ties in with what you're doing, but let's be honest, not really. Yeah, you could go back to Crucible and Vanguard and do whatever you want. But the seasonal story could be this actual story, this narrative experience to live through that is open, that has an arc. It says it starts here, it ends here, and it's a self-contained story. The benefit of that also being that's something you could also put into the rotator after this year, and we've done our 3 stories. You could add those to a rotator saying, "Hey, do you want to play through this?" Which opens the door also for remember the Red War? That was a time and a space that we played through. This was a time and space where this happened. You could introduce these basically standalone campaigns, standalone stories as things either, to bring back into the game, to put in as rotators, to do something with, but have an avenue to give us these things where you don't have to balance them forever. And if they're a little broken, you're a little overpowered, that's fine. Because the story isn't, the narrative piece of it isn't so much you being underpowered and having to fight through. Or if you want to do that, say, hey, you're do it like the campaigns. Your light level is locked to this level to make it hard for you to battle through the story sort of as it was originally intended and balanced. Great, do that, fine. I don't care if it's easy or hard, but playing through that narrative and seeing the context of who these characters are and how they came to be would be fun, I think, and interesting, and give you some onboarding for new players. That can be part of your new player experience. Let them play through this. Now, I don't know how that fixes the problem of the game is huge and bloated and we can't have everything in the game at once. But just giving us a way to play these things and not just having them in the game forever. Saying, this is up for this time, or this is up as part of this new light experience, but then doesn't live forever and ever and ever, bloating the game and taking up space. Because, it's something you're only going to play maybe once or twice ever. But it would be nice for people who haven't ever played it to be able to experience it. And for those of us who have played all that stuff, give us the new stories in that context. We know you're going to give me stuff for a couple months and take it away anyway. Have it be a fun narrative experience and give me a reason to play it back in the future and enjoy the narrative. The shooting guys in the face part, I don't need to experience as new and fresh every time. But the storytelling, who is Crow? Why do we care about Crow? What's a Crow? But even not even knowing what happened to Cade. Let me play Cade's entire story arc, front to back, or at least front to back in Destiny 2. Let me experience that all in one, narrative series. Let me get some context on Cade. What's Saint 14 Steel? Why is he running Trials of Osiris if he's not Osiris? What happened to Osiris? Give me access to some of this in game in a way that's fun to play through and tells me the story and teaches me why I should care about any of these people.
Yeah, what he said.
I've been thinking a lot about just the past and the present and who are these people? Why should we care? And
fair enough. But we do have some updates coming to Destiny on May 6th. So with update 8.2.6, it will bring a small sandbox update and the new dungeon-focused activity called the Rite of Nine. And then 3 days later, a new PvP mode called Heavy Metal, which we're quite excited about. Briggs versus tanks. But with that, they are launching the event home. And the event home is going to be something that takes over completely from the event cards. So from reading into this, with the event cards, you used to have to purchase. With the event home, it just sounds like it's all included, which is what we've asked for a very long time, that we don't want to have to keep, every time an event comes up, purchase the card. Not saying that they won't still do that. There'll be a premium version of it, maybe. But at the moment, it looks like the event cards are completely gone, and the event homes are going to be the new place for you to kind of look at where the challenges are, where you're going to get your rewards from for each event. And that's quite exciting. And in the TWAB this week, we do kind of have a quick look at what we can see. So they go over activities, locations, and quests with overviews of daily challenges and weekly challenges. So very similar to how the event cards kind of work at the moment. You kind of go through those and then you build up, like you had the currency with those, didn't you? You had your tickets for how many kind of things that you've completed. So you'd get your regular rewards from your event cards. So they would offer you kind of enhancement prisms, enhancement cores, all the way up to golf balls for doing all the kind of challenges. But then you'd have your tickets, which would be if you'd purchased your event card, you'd then be able to kind of buy or trade those in for the pieces that would be from the Eververse store. Now, it sounds like the stuff you had to purchase the card for is all going to be included on a reward track now. So there will be emotes, there will be sparrows, there will be ghosts, ships, and anything else that you kind of emotes, anything else that was included in these event cards will now be in this event home, which looks really cool. And again, there's a currency that comes with it, so you'll be able to kind of purchase other things at a later date, or you will be able to kind of save the currency for a different event card.
if this simplifies any of the things you just said, that'll be great. Just simplifying the events and simplifying the currencies needed would be a huge step forward. And even just the heavy metal screen they show, where they're like, here's the activity, here's the locations, here's the quests, like telling you what you can do. Like with this last event, finding out that Gambit was class based. That wasn't anywhere. That was literally go play Gambit and find out. Now again, Gambit's probably a bad example because everyone's going, why do we care about Gambit? But just if you're going to have an event, tell me what all of the event is, and put it all in one place and make it understandable. Don't give me a bunch of new currencies I now have to learn for 2 or 3 weeks to understand the event. Just say, hey, here's the new things you can do. Go engage with the event. You'll get stuff out of it. That's all people need. They don't need 16 currencies to remember.
Well, no, you still need 16 currencies to remember. And I just want to clarify. I got mixed up with there's different currencies. The event tokens are the things that go away at the end of the event, a bit like your event tickets that we used to get with the the thing. So you have to spend the event tokens before the event ends, but you will get a reroll chip, which are for re-rolling your challenges. So if you want to re-roll your challenges, you get those, and you can get those by playing the events, and you can also purchase them for silver as well. And those are the things that you can keep. So you can keep the re-rolling chips from event to event, but the actual tokens you have to spend by the end of the event, which I don't understand why you wouldn't spend the tokens if you've earned them all, and you can turn the tokens in to get stuff without having to pay for a pass. It's I'd just turn them all in.
That's fair. If I'm playing, let me play the activity, let me earn the token, let me spend the token. Done, dusted, great. I mean, honestly, and the last event we had was a nice change, and there were a lot of quality of life things in there that made it better and actually enjoyable. So hopefully this is continuing to move in the right direction of show people how to engage in your event, and they will engage in your event more.
Well, they're making a whole event out of this PvP mode, which is quite cool. I don't think we've ever had that before, have we? Like out of a whole PvP event, apart from when
I mean, Crimson Days, Crimson Doubles, kind of. But was that? I'm trying to remember. Was that only PvP, or did they have a Vanguard related part of that?
I don't think we had cards
so
for
long. Oh, right. No, nothing from the card perspective. Nothing with cards, but even just an event at all.
Into the Light, I guess, was the last kind of free event that we had that I think had something similar, but nothing like this that is kind of changing the way that people play the game and get rewards. So
I'm excited for the heavy metal either way.
Well, they're excited about the heavy metal, which is why they're giving you more challenges to kind of go and play it over and over again. So that's what we're going to kind of do, and get lots of rewards and get lots of tokens. And it's going to be the way that from now going forward is how event cards will be. They'll be replacing Solstice, Fest of the Lost, the Dawning, Guardian Games, and any other event coming up. So it'll all be on the event home.
That's lovely. Give me a place to see all of it. Yeah, Bungie's been doing great work. Just with the UI stuff, just making this all easier defined and easier to understand. That's wonderful. I wonder if that's also going in part of the new. I can't remember what they call it. Basically, instead of the director, the portal for going and finding activities. I wonder if it's part of that rework that's coming in. Frontier. I've lost track of when things are coming.
Yeah, some things are coming Frontiers, some things are kind of as and when they say they're coming. So,
but part of the big UI rework. But I mean, it definitely moving in the right direction.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been dealing with the same thing for how many years now? So nice that the UI is getting some love, and now I'm just rambling.
So heavy metal will appear on May 9th, which is 3 days after the reset on May 6th. Which is when we're going to get the reveal of the Edge of Fate, as well as the release of the Rite of the Nine, which is the new kind of Into the Light expansion that we're kind of getting in between. And then a couple of days after that will be the heavy metal dropping. So does this mean that they're cancelling Trials for that weekend? If we're having heavy metal on that weekend?
Heavy metal's in Trials, Goopy.
Maybe it will be heavy metal Trials.
Heavy metal Trials, yes.
Now that I could get behind, because that is going to be a free-for-all, because nobody's going to have any weapons that outdo anybody else. It's just going to be your team versus that team, and if you can win, you can win. Yes, we need heavy metal Trials that first weekend, Bungie. Heavy metal in every playlist. You can't escape it. It's everywhere. Heavy metal Control, heavy metal Supremacy, heavy metal Trials, heavy metal Competitive, heavy metal Rumble, just everything. Heavy metal.
Heavy metal Nightfall. Heavy metal.
Heavy metal is now a modifier. Do it.
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
I mean, honestly, the 9. We're having a whole 9 base thing. Trials on the 9. Bring back 4v4. Make it heavy metal. The 9 want us to have a chessboard, and they also want us to fight in giant robots for their amusement.
I see nothing wrong with this logic at all.
Yeah, no, I mean,
solid logic.
It's all part of the story. Something storyline.
Bife, I need you to find a way to make that make sense.
No, it's all something. Yeah, something story. It'll be fine. Don't ask questions. Don't think too hard about it.
The same with Trials. Trials is back, and you don't have to think about that, because you go and get your card, you go and play solo, you get to the lighthouse, bish bash bosh, you can get a Tomorrow's Answer rocket launcher, Adept as the reward, and the map is Midtown, so it's not a bad map. It's a very good map, and apparently it's a fan favourite. So let's keep the fan favourite maps and not go, let's think out of the box this week. No, just keep the fan favourite ones. Next week, on Tuesday, will be more Iron Banner. Shall we take a guess at the game mode for this week of Iron Banner?
Is it will you explode and kill yourself?
That was the first week, and then the second time it came up, we had 3 weeks of Supremacy, didn't we? Guardian Game Supremacy, and I said, it's not going to be another version of Supremacy, and I was so wrong, because it turned out to be Tribute, which was the other version of Supremacy. So this week, you've got a choice of it's a 50-50, or we could be completely wrong and they go back and do another version. Definitely Control is going to be in one mode, so you can't pick that. It should be either Rift, which is what they said is going to kind of come back, or it's going to be Fortress. Who's going with Fortress? Who's going with Rift?
I'm going with the same thing that we had last time, because Bungie can't flip the switch the way they're supposed to.
I'm going with Rift because there's still a weekly challenge for Rift, and have we even seen Rift ever?
Yes, again, it's one of those ones. It's in the 3v3 playlist again. There hasn't been a 6v6 one.
Do it, Rift.
The same with Clash. There was a Clash challenge that came up, and I forgot, we now do 2v2 Clash. So, yeah, I'd missed that in the rotations. Sorry, I can't. They didn't say it was going to be in the 2v2s.
Don't apologize for Bungie's inability to tell you what's happening in Crucible. That's a well-known feature of this game.
Yeah.
We get to guess about Crucible every week. Everything else, fairly confident. Crucible, anyone's guess. Like Iron Banner.
Well, I'm not confident at all this week.
Nor should you be.
No. There is a This Week in Destiny, which I have put together, which I will put in just a second. But I just want to kind of explain that it should be in the rotations. It should have been Insight Terminus this upcoming week, but where they swapped out the Scarlet Keep for this week that we're currently in, just to make the Sunless Cell more of a kind of selling point, it could be the Scarlet Keep again. So you'd think in the TWAB would be the perfect place to kind of tell us what the Nightfall is for the next week and why they swapped out the Sunless Cell. But no.
Listen, there's part of this video that's just Nitedemon just emoting the shrug emote over and over again, because that's as much as we know, and that's as much as you know.
It's going to be either one of those. It's either one of those, but I can tell you the plug one is going to be the fusion rifle that's going to be Adept available in the Nightfalls. And then you can listen to me tell you all the rest of the stuff now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
This is your weekly rundown of episode Heresy, week 13, starting on April 29th. This week sees the return of Valor Saladin as he arrives in the tower for the third time this episode, bringing with him the Iron Banner. This is a week-long free-to-play Crucible event, which means there will be no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Power level is disabled, meaning you can go into Iron Banner with whatever weapons and armour you would like. Iron Banner also brings with it challenges and a seal to become an Iron Lord. For episode Heresy, Iron Banner has now been broken up into 2 playlists, with each one replacing an existing node on the Crucible Director. Iron Banner Control will replace the existing Control node, and Iron Banner Quick Play will be the new home for Eruption, Fortress, Tribute, and Rift game modes in the Quick Play playlist. If you need a refresh or just want to know more about the Iron Banner, then check out our most recent guide. This episode's new weapon is the Arc Adaptive Frame Trace Rifle Warlord Spear, and returning weapon is the Stasis Adapted Burst Sidearm Peacebond. We also have a new emblem called Saladin's Pride, and new shader called Banner's Bearer. Episode Revenant brought with it the Iron Banner Memento, which you can put into your crafted weapons to gain access to the shader Iron Banner Keepsake, and title of Seaver's Bane. Plus, the Iron Intent armor set from episode Revenant is still earnable. And Bungie have said to hang on to a few Iron Banner engrams if you can for the next edition, as there is a new weapon being added for the next Iron Banner on May 24th. Or if Iron Banner is not your thing and you finished episode Heresy story, you have another week to catch up before the Rite of the Nine begins, giving you some time to finish anything from episode Echoes, episode Revenant, as well as Heresy. Or you could complete your Nightfall Conquest seal, play some Gambit, or even go for Ascendant in competitive Crucible. Or you could just go play some more Sunless Cell Strike, Expert Nether, and Court of Blades for those sweet Adept seasonal weapons. The new activity Rite of Nine is due on May 6th, a new PvP mode Heavy Metal is due on May 9th. Act 2 of episode Heresy brought with it the new activity the Court of Blades. Set within the Dreadnought's Hold of Souls area, players are transported to different arenas across the system, from Io to Europa and on board a Hive warship. Court of Blades has 2 difficulty options, Normal and Expert, with Adept versions of the Act 2 weapons only dropping in the Expert version. Also, the Grandmaster Nightfall node is available, giving Guardians the opportunity to complete their Conquest seal for this episode. With this node becoming available, this gives Guardians the chance to jump ahead and complete Act 3's Nightfalls, Warden of Nothing on the Dreaming City week 14 May 6th, and the Sunless Cell on the Dreadnought week 15 May 13th. Or conversely, you'll be able to complete Act 1 and Act 2's Grandmasters, which are now not available. Sark's Battlegrounds Moon, Lake of Shadows on the EDZ, Scarlet Keep on the Moon, Hypernet Current on Europa, Hive's Battlegrounds Mars, and the Sark's Battlegrounds Cosmodrome. Act 1 of episode Heresy brought with it the new 3-player activity, the Nether. Set within the Dreadnought patrol zones, Guardians fight in random and varied encounters with different events and objectives every time. The Nether has 3 modes: the Nether Exploration for those solo types who want to just explore the Dreadnought, a match-made mode on baseline advanced difficulty, and a selectable non-match-made expert version. From Act 3 of episode Revenant, we have the new exotic mission Kel's Fall, where you can earn the new Void exotic shotgun Slayer's Fang, and new Prison of Elders challenge Kel's Vengeance, which can be found over in the Last City for 2 to 3 players. Act 2 of episode Revenant brought with it the Tomb of Elders, and Contest of Elders over in the Last City, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of Act 2. Also available for a weekly pinnacle is the Salvation Age raid over in the Pale Heart, and new dungeon Sundered Doctrine, which can be found over on the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality's Ager up for grabs, and a whole suite of new weapons and armour. Just make sure to visit Icor over in the tower to pick up the quest Drowning Labyrinth to enter. Over in the Last City we have Onslaught Salvation, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of the opening act of Revenant. This version of Onslaught brings with it new defences, 3 maps that are not in the Vanguard playlist version, and new enemies to fight. You can select from Widow's Court, Eventide Ruins, and Kel's Grave, either normal or expert. Also, the original Onslaught has been updated to include some of the new additions. Located in the Vanguard playlist, the featured Onslaught map this week will be Mothyards, with a Fallen War Priest kicking off the boss rotation. In the Last City on the Helm, the exotic mission Encore is still available, with 2 difficulty options, normal and expert. Also, from episode Echoes, we have the 3 new battleground activities, Delve, Conduit, and Core, with Enigma Protocol and Breach Executable. The expert battlegrounds will start this week's rotation with Core. The Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Divilian Mist and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blindwell features Hive enemies and the Plague Kragar. The Ascendant challenge will be the Chimera Garrison over in the Chamber of Starlight Lost sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a mysterious disturbance. The Drove Guardian is located in the Anchor of Light, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Fallen Council in Archer's Line. Nightmare hunts Fogoth, Fear, Crota, Despair, and Fanatic Insanity. The Altars of Sorrow start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Zydron and the Heretic Rocket Launcher. On Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Asterian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. Dares of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Taken, Cabal, and Zydron. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Perfector's armor set will be available in Days of Eternity with Weapon Set 2. Scathelock, Extraordinary Rendition, Brass Attacks, Threaded Needle, Code Duello, Imperial Needle, Far Future, Honor's Edge, Distant Terminus, Interference 6, Shepherd's Watch, and Annual Skate. The Witch Queen Weekly Story mission is The Last Chance, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on attack, with the Kinetic Bow, Feltar Diddle, and Borragon Hive Knight as the boss. The Lightfall Weekly mission is No Time Left, the Partition mission will be Ordnance, and the Vex incursion will be Umshire Park. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The Final Shakes Cooperative Focus campaign mission this week will be Iconoclasm. The 12 Guardian Matchmade Excision mission is also available next to the race for a weekly pinnacle, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Salvation's Edge Raid Chant this week is the 5th encounter, Zenith, called Coordinated Efforts. The Root of Nightmares Raid Chant this week is the 2nd encounter, Scission, called Crossfire. The Kingsfall Raid Chant this week is the 2nd encounter, War Priest, called Devious Thievery. The Vault of Glass Chant this week is the 3rd encounter, Templar, called Out of Its Way. The Deep Stone Crypt Chant this week is the 4th encounter, Tanix, called The Core 4. And the Garden of Salvation Chant this week is the 1st encounter, Embrace, called To the Top. Featured Pinnacle Raid 1 will be Val the Disciple over on the Throne World, and featured Pinnacle Raid 2 will be The Last Wish over on the Dreaming City, with all challenges available for all encounters, with the Exotic Pulse Rifle Collective Obligation being farmable from the final boss in Val, and the Exotic Fusion Rifle 1000 Voices from The Last Wish. Featured Pinnacle Dungeon 1 will be the Grasp of Avarice over on the Cosmodrome, and featured Pinnacle Dungeon 2 will be Vesper's Host over on Europa. The Exotic Mission Rotator will be Node Override Avalon, with Excalibur Exotic Glaive being the main reward, and the Season of the Defiance weapon set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and 0 Hour, will also be available in the Legends tab. This week's challenges are Stranded Ritual, Neptune Activities, Precision Calibration, Fleeting Glory, Linear Launch, and Bane Reaper. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Bunker E15 on Europa, Wednesday Perdition on Europa, Thursday Vel's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, Friday Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome, Saturday Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City, Sunday Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City, and Monday Hydroponics Delta on Neptune. The Grandmaster Nightfalls continue this week with our 13th featured Nightfall, which should see us face off against Kargan the Technocrat in the Insight Terminus over on Nessus, or Hash Ladoon Daughter of Crota in the Scarlet Keep on the Moon, with the Plug 1 Fusion Rifle as the featured adept weapon. The 6v6 playlist will be Iron Banner Control. The 6v6 quick play mode should be Iron Banner Fortress, Showdown should be in the small teams quick play, and Team Scorch could also be available, with no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. This week should also see bonus Crucible Reputation available all week long. And as a reminder, the annual Moments of Triumph continue, with a collection of 33 challenges celebrating everything you've been able to achieve in this past year. If you've been active, you'll likely already have some of these completed, which just gets you closer to the 26 you'll need to earn the 2024 seal and title. Still available is the Destiny 10th Anniversary in-game celebration event, and don't forget to keep an eye on Zer this Friday at Reset to see if he's offering another chance to grab a random rolled exotic class item for 41 strange coins. And that's it for the 13th week of the Final Shape episode Heresy.
Now tune in next week to see how much of it he got right and how much of it he got wrong.
Yeah, we are going to start selling bingo cards, I think, of what I've got right and what I've got wrong.
Merch! Merch!
Oh.
Bingo merch.
2 times in 100 merch?
Bingo
merch.
Mm-hmm.
I beat you to it! Oh no, he beat me. Damn.
So we're actually going to release 60 chess pieces scattered around the internet. You have to go collect first. And then
whilst listening to your vinyl record of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd ever think that, you know, they'd bring back vinyl and people would want it and play stuff on their record players?
Absolutely
the vinyl,
no.
I understand. The resurgence in cassette tapes, I absolutely do not.
See, this is where people should have hung on to their physical media all those many moons ago, and you wouldn't have to kind of worry about resurgence in these things.
No, I mean the vinyl I can understand because vinyl can be lovely. There is no benefit to cassette tapes other than nostalgia. I dare anyone
is
to
that,
make
is that including
an honest
8-track tapes? 8-track tapes had pretty good sound.
No, like cassettes, like, you know, cassette single size. I don't know what that form factor is called, but you know, the cassette tapes that we in the millennial-ish generation grew up on. Past 8 tracks before, basically what you bought the tape and then you rebought it as a CD. Those cassette tapes.
Yeah.
Those coming back, I do not understand. Vinyl, wonderful, beautiful, I can get behind. I love vinyl. the cassettes hurt my brain. So what are we getting in vinyl? And will it be pretty colors? Because if you're not doing pretty colors, Bungie, what are we doing here?
Yeah, you get an emblem. Can I tease you with an emblem? Everything that we sell, you get an emblem with. No? Okay. There's some pretty art in there as well as 2 black vinyl records. You'd think
you're being yelled at, Nitedemon.
Not one black, one white, not a light and a dark, not a. I mean,
you'd think with like the way that people make records these days, and they go out of their way to make them so colourful and so inventive these days. I mean, I've seen one that is for a specific film that we will not talk about, but it's got kind of liquid inside it that kind of goes around, and yeah, it looks like a.
Okay, now,
so if you don't know,
but okay, so for those of us who don't know, I'm going to need answers.
Saltburn.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen Saltburn yet?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Okay. You know, I saw it back when we talked about it.
Yeah. Is that the one I'll never get that time back? That awful movie we were talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that is wild.
Yeah.
Music from the motion picture Bathwater Edition.
Yeah. It's like
that.
You'd think that
weird.
With the way that people are more creative with the way they do these records these days, that there is a big ball in Destiny.
Right.
I'm just saying.
There's so many things. The fact that my wife has been hunting like limited edition color, for like double albums or double vinyls, where one is black and one is a specific color depending where it's pre-ordered from, and you're looking for a particular color of these.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. I mean, to be fair, maybe this is their like, we're gonna do one of these. Let's see if anybody buys it first. If they do, then we'll do a colorful pressing later on. I don't know. It's going to be 4 to 6 months after placing is their estimated shipping window, because obviously they're going to take the orders and then get these pressed. There's not a warehouse sitting around of them. $43.98, not 44, but $43.98 at least if you're in the US for your 2 lovely vinyls.
Is that a reasonable price
for a vinyl? I would say yeah. I mean, yeah, because I've seen some. My wife still buys vinyls, and for
I do as well, but I only buy them when on sale.
Birthday, she got me the Louis Armstrong Greatest Hits, and that was like $55?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, in today's prices, nothing really surprises me anymore. So, I mean, it doesn't seem unreasonable, but I don't know.
I'm just saying,
you
could be a bit more inventive.
You also have to keep in mind the Destiny tax. Destiny, like, I mean, what, a raid ring, a crappy little, not even real high quality raid ring was like $150. So, I mean, the fact that they're only charging $40 for 2 vinyl records, I think.
Well, I mean, right. I mean, that's also vinyl where you're just putting an order in. Like, no one's out here making raid rings. Like, that's a one-off bespoke thing they're making. But yeah. So yeah, $44 US for vinyl. I don't know what it'll be in other countries. Over 2 hours of music, 78 minutes and 41 seconds of runtime. Your gatefold jacket features artwork inspired by the light and the dark. And you also get your download code for your emblem, and the artwork does look really pretty. I'll give them that. Like, that's one thing I love about vinyl is you've got so much space for beautiful artwork. I mean, and you open this thing up and you've got your Bungie, your Destiny 2 skybox right there, which is lovely.
What I would have paid for out of pocket right here, right now on the show is if instead of music on these vinyls, they had lore readings of, I don't know, let's say anything that involves Ikora's doing the reading. Anything that involves the Drifter, the voice actor for the Drifter's doing the reading. Anything that involves Cade's storyline, the voice actor's doing the reading, right? If we could get lore on vinyl read by the actual voice actors, yes.
Vinyl though? On
Hell
vinyl?
Yeah. Yes. Vinyl has a
so it could sound like
you get the feeling of them being there. Vinyl catches every pop, everything that was happening at the time of recording. Absolutely.
So it would sound just like listening in game with the pops and the cracks over the microphones in Destiny.
Yeah, but you can pop it in and listen to it whenever you want. You don't have to go into the game, go into a certain activity where that voice actor's still doing the voice lines or whatever, right? And I'm not talking about like in-game taka, right? I'm talking about like actual lore readings from the grimoires but just done by the voice actor who's involved in that lore.
Okay.
Well, Bungie, there you go. You have one person chomping at the bit to buy lore readings on vinyl from you.
I would.
Maybe even 2 or 3.
And people's like, well, Bife already does it. Yes, I know Bife does it, but the point is
It's
to
not
have
on
the voice
vinyl.
actors doing it, and it's not on vinyl. You can put Bife on vinyl.
Download your favorite YouTube, put it on vinyl. There you go. You can get a very, very squiggly looking emblem if you buy it. So there you go. That's the thing you could have. If you order it now, you might have it in time for Christmas. Maybe.
Very retro. That's what that is. It looks like melted vinyl. Oh, that is melted vinyl. So it's a melted vinyl icon with a bunch of retro squigglies. Yeah.
But you can get another emblem if you
Finger
donate
gun.
some money. Do you want to donate some money for a good cause?
Depends. How
Even if it's not for a good cause,
cost?
Bungie said, if you give us $25, you can have an emblem.
Emblem of what? Which one?
Just stuff.
I donated $10,000 last year.
Did you?
I did.
Well, you didn't donate to this. So the Bungie Foundation is once again excited to participate in the
I did
Gauntlet.
donate some to the Bungie Foundation. Maybe not $10,000.
So this is their fundraising tabletop gaming competition that they do each year, and they've supporting their partners at Gamer Engaged, and they've got a brand new fired up emblem available for $25 donation, and even your chance to get your self-portrait or a picture of your furry friend hand drawn by Bungie staff.
What?
Yeah. All proceeds will go.
What furry friend?
If you've got a furry friend,
your favorite one.
Your furry friend. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You must provide your own furry friend. One will not be provided to you.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if you ask nicely, they might. But
I'm trying to see what games are being played at this tabletop event. But at this tabletop event, I see one card game, and then I see computer gamers. I see more computer gamers, and then.
Well, I'm guessing either way, it's probably not happening anywhere near you. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe just
Seattle. Yeah.
Okay. There'll be games for other people, but not you.
Yeah.
You can't have them.
Yeah, there's a Spartan. There's an actual cosplay Spartan in the main picture in the background.
Yeah.
Or Centurion, whatever. The one with the frilly mohawk on top of the helmet. I forgot which one that is, but yeah, he's right there. That's pretty funny.
Oh, that's nice. We've got until May 18th, so you have got some time to donate if you want to donate. So go donate, get an emblem, and don't be stingy like Respawn.
Pretty
I
close
have.
on
I did donate last year.
Someone
I
should
just
be
donate
last
all
year.
of that.
This seems like a very warlock coded emblem with like the finger and like the ribbon or
It's a
fire coming
finger
out
gun.
of it.
I would say that's Hunter more than anything, like the golden gun.
No, that's warlock. Warlocks
How
can
is
shoot
that?
fire and things out of their fingers. They have an entire melee built around it. That's warlocks.
But they do it out of the palm of their hand, not their fingers. So even that's wrong.
Amateur hour.
Yeah, looks very Cade-ish. Go and buy it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cade, I don't want to skip over what you're going to read, but
it's going to be new, I promise. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
like, I didn't realize this was a cosplay. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool art. And then they're like, oh, the cosplay is so good. Wait, that's a cosplay of Cade? That doesn't even look real. It looks something that we would find in the game or something, you know? That's crazy how good these people are getting.
People are insane with their cosplay.
Right?
Like, just insane. I saw the person who did like the huge like Savathun one posted on, I don't remember, somewhere recently. It was like, hey, remember when I had this? And like, with the whole moving mouth and all the I want to say animatronics, but that's not the right word. But yeah, just all the movement of the mouth and everything. I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that and having my mind blown last time. And here we are, having my mind blown again. People be creative.
Who's ding ding dinging? So when you're putting stuff in the chat?
I don't know. Is there somebody at your front door? Because I'll tell you what there is. The known issues list. Guess what?
It's all known. It's all known. That's why.
It's all the same one. So yeah, Demon still couldn't find the Sunless Cell in the Fireteam Finder. Some bosses in the Quarter Blades don't want to show up, leading to a soft lock. When speaking to a vendor, ambient dialogue. Ionic Sentry still doesn't chain lightning. Don't do the Drowning Labyrinth quest. Don't do it. Because step 6 and 9, still broken, so you get there with your other characters. Sometimes a derealized mission, the Taking Relic can drop below the surface of the first encounter. When damaging your Shrieker bosses in the Sunder Doctrine, players receive critical damage feedback. Guess what? It's not. It's regular base damage. When tracking Ikora's Drowning Labyrinth quest, completion of certain steps may stop progress on the next steps. Sometimes, but not always. The Tomb of Want, a primer quest, does not progress after meeting step 3 and 4 requirements. Memento shaders, you can still show those on armor. You're not getting them on armor. There's no plans. The Honor of Hercules ornament, right boot, is angled incorrectly, so the leather strap still does not fit the boot. And your Seeking Filaments and Spirit of Filaments cannot grant Devour while the Facet of Protection is equipped. Nothing new. All old, still broken.
So there really is nothing new at all?
Nope.
It's just all this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
but no, that
100% of those
crazy, huh?
Okay, that's where the cosplay was coming from.
Yeah, sorry. It was right after you.
Yeah, he skipped ahead.
I didn't. We went back.
The super important known issues that we talk about every week. So let's see what Bungie isn't telling us about. Hey, that issue where the subclasses get unlocked pop up. Yeah, that's still happening for everyone.
Oh my word! I won a trials match and it just popped up. I was like, Jesus!
Yeah.
I know.
Congratulations, you've done all of these. Hey, the director is no longer able to be accessed from inside of the character screen. The champion title or the champ title has lost its gilded status. So good work gilding it. No, you didn't. The default order in the vault has changed. I don't know what it's changed to, but it's changed. Clicking the F1 menu button on the director takes a player to a blank, non-responsive character screen. Players can circumvent this by opening up their quest screen. In some cinematics and performances, Eris's face is misconfigured.
Oh, dang.
I have no idea what that means, but yeah, sometimes it's misconfigured. Yeah. The Dido White Rabbit ship's extendable flap on the right side doesn't unfold properly. And then a bunch of things in Guardian Games we don't care about because that's not up right now. So yeah, like there are a bunch of other things that we're just not going to tell about them. Yeah. Upon like in the Sunder Doctrine, upon a player reaching the rally banner for the second boss, previous areas will become soft kill volumes, which may kill teammates who are lagging behind. So keep up, or you might die. There goes your flawless. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff broken there too, but
they're just not going to tell us about it.
They're just like, we're not updating in the 12. Listen, we have what's there. We like what's there. We like this collection of bugs, and that's what we're going to tell you about. Yeah, there's plenty more things broken. So if you're sitting here screaming at your screen, no, they haven't talked about this. There's lots of broken things. As I'm scrolling through, they link the known issues list. There are a lot of them. They're known. They're issues, but they're not 12 worthy. Just Cade and Tommy's matchbook. That's it. And before they leave, they want us to check out this data video. They had a great time watching it. If you go down memory lane and approach the new era of Destiny with the Edge of Fate, you'll love it. And they give us an obligatory meme template. So, of Dado holding up the papers from however many years ago and pointing to them. So yeah, you've seen it. Oh yeah, the best video Dado's ever made is what they'd like us to watch. Not Deacon approved at 34 minutes and 48 seconds. But Demon, what other videos do you want us to watch?
Well, just the ones that I kind of have already mentioned, to be honest. The one with the guides on all the chess pieces and the Froggy one. I think that was it, to be honest. Oh, and the trailer. That's it. The teaser trailer. You don't need to know anything else. That's it. That's this week in Destiny. Everyone else is kind of focusing on Marathon and every other game that's being released. So
all the great Oblivion gameplay. The only one I've got for this week is what is the best glaive for the Triton Vice build? ? Because if you remember way back to last week, Maven was grinding her face off in Gambit.
Oh yeah.
Going, I really want to get the Gambit glaive to do this build. And I believe starts this video by going after 15 hours, I decided this was a stupid plan. And it was just what other glaives could I have that work? So she talks about her Triton Vice build, which was the whole point of grinding for that glaive to begin with. So if you're sitting here going, those are words that excite me, and you've got your Albedo wing, or you want to grind your face off for a back fang glaive, or have one already, go check out that video, because she did a lot of work, and you should appreciate it. And yeah, everything else was, like you said, other videos. Kimmy Kinks put out his marathon thoughts via PowerPoint, which was a fun. I enjoy his analysis because he comes to the games of I'm going to look at this from not in a this is good or this is bad, but just this is how I approach it, and I've always liked his approach to things. But it's marathon related, not Destiny related. So, yeah. Everything else was about other people, other games, and not this one. I'd ask Respawn. Respawn doesn't watch YouTube. Doesn't believe in it.
I already told you I watched the trailer. What are you talking about? Oh, you mean like new videos? No,
the rest of YouTube. There's a whole big expanse of YouTube. There's like thousands of videos
not for
out
Destiny.
there.
I watched a lot of marathon videos, including Acid Crosses, but I thought y'all wanted to avoid that, so I didn't say anything. Oh, actually, no. Mactix has a really good hunter build video for you guys to check out. It is something that I forgot to put in the chat, so give me a second to find it.
Is it a recent one, or is it one
from
1,000 years ago?
No, it was this week.
The busted hunter build will make you God. That one?
Yeah, that one right there. 1,394% damage build. Yeah, with Lucky Pants build, right? So yeah, he uses one hand cannon and a sidearm, I guess, for anti-barrier champions. But whenever I use it, I was using 2 hand cannons, and it still just worked with 2 hand cannons. It's actually pretty good. And then he goes into all the changes about the Lucky Pants that even I didn't know about. Like, you can avoid the debuff entirely by just shooting 6 rounds and then swapping back. It never gives you the out of time debuff. I was like, what? So
very nice.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. He goes into all the details about it and everything. So yeah, that's one of the videos I watched. And then of course how to farm the palindrome fast and easy, which won't be relevant by the time this comes out. So there you go.
Cool.
So I did watch some stuff. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Well done. Respawn did a thing.
Every now and again happens.
Dang. And I remember
what also happens?
I did. What's that?
We have to thank our merch designers this week.
Oh, that's what we're now calling them.
Yes,
I like that name. This week. Yeah, so you can't threaten Renard Calant or Zep Orbit with merch. You also can't threaten Renard Calant with more cats. Can't be done. So many cats or merch can't be done. Simply impossible to threaten him. Our otter merch troop of the Scarlet KM dedicated to M64. Our merch throwers throwing more merch. Golden God 1562, Noble, Fire Squad 1688, the man Conan from Texas, and Farrell, and Deacon's Day One merch team of Gravy Jeff. We thank you each and every one of our lovely merch patrons over at patreon.com/TTAH. And we thank all of you for listening. Thank you for joining us, whether you were here live, here dead, or here somewhere in between. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon, your hunters, no one respawn in real life. We're on YouTube. Go there, find us, listen to us. If you've got opinions, especially if you want to tell us how wrong we are about extraction shooters, or how bad Destiny is, or how good Destiny is, 2titansandahunter@hotmail.com, or just leave comments on videos. We have videos, we have comments, you should use them. Demon would appreciate it.
Yes.
You find the show wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on YouTube with your bingo card out for going, what did Demon say was going to be up this week, and what's actually up this week? See if you get a bingo. Let us know. You can find the show, all the show notes, and all the things we talk about, 2titansandahunter.com. If you want to be a merch enjoyer, or potential merch enjoyer, because never let the dream die, patreon.com/TTAH. Or if you want to harass Demon directly, coffee.com, that's ko-fi.com/2titansandahunter. And if you want to play the other game of bingo of Will Respawn stream this week, twitch.tv/no one respawns in real life. And if you want to wake up real early for Trials Tuesday, twitch.tv/2titansandahunter. Go there, hit the buttons, hit the bells, and you'll know when things happen. And you too can harass us in real life in person. So you should do that.
Just enjoy Trials Tuesday.
Yeah, or you can just enjoy Trials Tuesday. But yeah, so that's it for this week. Tell the people anything else you want to tell the people, and until next week, we'll tell them more things about Destiny.
Alright, well, on that note, I'm going to say deuces.
Me too. I'm going to say deuces. I'm just going to copy you.
And I'm going to copy you and say deuces.
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 Deuces, deuces.
Deuces, deucey, deucey.
Deuces. Times 4.
Okay.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Hopefully more information about what we're edging towards next week.
Maybe.
We're edging towards marathon.
Respawn, the professional PvP player, will be our respawn or our marathon correspondent. He will go and give us in-depth respawn marathon takes every single week about how much he hates it, how angry he is, and why he thinks all of you suck.
Accurate. I'm nothing if not consistent.
Just like the known issues list. Consistent every week.